Namaste, Kemcho. Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm doing pretty good. Uh, I woke up and I had an idea, and the idea was I wanted to discuss the idea of language study and joining clubs. And I don't mean joining a club to study a specific language. The key to joining as many clubs as you can with as many languages as you can is once you understand the code or the language, okay, you know the secret words to the outsiders, you're automatically in. You're automatically in a club. And the more people that speak that language that you're studying and becoming fluent in, the more members of the club there are available to you. So if you speak English, there's however many billion people understand English. If you speak Mandarin Chinese, you're in that club. You might not be immediately welcomed into the club because of your lack of expertise in their code, but once you have enough of the code deciphered and you're able to utilize it at your whim when you choose, yet on the spur of the moment, somebody asks you for the time and you notice, hey, you're part of that club. You speak that code. I speak a little of that code. Boom, you've met another member of that club. Now we're all a part of the biggest club on the planet for our species, and that's Club Human Being. Now, we don't like to have all the members in our club that are in it, but you don't really have a choice. We're all born as human beings. You have a choice of how many of those subsets of clubs that you can join. So for me, I'm in the English club. I'm rekindling my code ability in the French club, en français. I'm studying Gujarati, Gujaratama Bhasha, okay, the language of Gujarati. I'm joining that club. I'm putting in my dues, okay, which is just the time and the effort to study. And then I will become part of the Gujarati club. Any other languages, okay? Just saying hello in any language doesn't automatically make you a member of that club, but it opens the door. And that's all you need. You need to open the door with a smile and be open to understanding how to use the code to express yourself in that club. You must remember, whatever native language you begin with, you have a, you're not assimilated, okay? But you acquire through sounds first, usually when you're an infant and a toddler. And then people start using bigger people words around you. You start understanding, you know how to pronounce them, you can read them, you can spell them, you can point at an object and say it in your head. When you want to join another club, you're going to have to start out like in Canada, there's beavers, then there's cubs, then there's Boy Scouts. Okay, on the female side, I forget, but there's brownies and guides, and it continues up. The same thing with the club of languages. Let your ego go, learn and study by the rules of that language. That club will have its list of rules that if you follow, you will always be allowed to communicate correctly in that club's code. And that code is just language. It's not as difficult as you think if you truly want to learn and become a member of that club. And if it's for fun and no other reason, that's perfect. That is the quintessential reason for studying languages. It's the fun. Then that knowledge that you gain in return for your efforts never leaves you. That's yours for free. The government can't tax it. Your neighbor can't accidentally throw a bag of dog poop on it. It's not like it's available for others to pick at and take from. It can only ever grow as long as you practice. You don't have to practice with a native speaker if you're only attempting conversational fluency. Once you've attained a level of being able to speak in that code, that language, you will always have it. It'll sound rusty, it'll sound rough, but it's very similar to if you play any kind of sports or ride a pedal bike and you haven't done so because of a winter time. When you come back on, your heart's out of shape, your body's out of shape. Mentally, you're out of shape because you haven't gone 5 or 8 or 12 or whatever kilometers, 6 miles, whatever your distance. You have to do a couple rides within a week, 3, 4 rides. Your body's like, oh, we remember. Very similar with the code of languages. Once you have it, it's yours. Nobody can take it from you. And you can do what you want with this code. My favorite thing to do with the code is just hello to random people. And if you sense that the person speaks a language without asking them, okay, some people say do this, do that. I say you do what you want to do. You'll find out because some people can tell the same joke that a million people laugh at, but their delivery doesn't work with that joke and it offends people. I think there's a major difference with language. If you use the tools, the words that you've studied well enough that you know how to read them, you know how to write them, you know how to say them, it's going to be a very low probability that when you use those tools with a stranger who speaks those words, they're going to say piss off. It's very rare. Okay, it doesn't matter what language somebody talks to you in. If you're in a bad mood or something terrible just happened or you're very deep in thought about, you have to go get groceries and you don't want to forget this item, it doesn't matter what language the person's talking to you and you're like, I don't want to be bothered. Okay. But with the study of language, that kind of goes away more often than not because it's a, it's a rare occurrence that somebody like me would be fluent in Gujarati. And then if you can say you have a pen and paper and I can write in Gujarati, it's very impressive to a person who assumes that you don't know any of that code. So they don't know you're a member of their club until you let them know. And that's part of the fun as well, is just to say, hello, brother, hello, sister, and you give each other that mental hug and you become friends. Okay, tori tori mitra. Okay, like in Punjabi, a little bit of friends, but that grows and it gets bigger. Okay, I'm not very fluent at all in any language but English, but it will not deter or derail my efforts for the time I spend to become that way. If you enjoyed this video, just follow along with the series. In a couple more weeks, I'm going to have another ad lib where I just sit and I talk, trying to form sentences describing whatever in Gujarati that I've learned. Thank you very much for your time. Abhar.